is, how do you know if your business is healthy? How do you know if your moving business has a good pulse? So what we're going to talk about, we're going to talk about 4 different pulses to a good, healthy moving business, okay? So the reason this is important is because too many people don't know where they're at. You don't know where you're at because you don't know the pulses. You don't know the things to check. And if you don't know it and you don't track it, then how do you know how you do at the end of the month, at the end of the quarter, and at the end of the year? So let's start off. I'm just going to run through these and then we're going to talk about each one. So there's 4 pulses that I like to look at with a moving business, okay? And they're a specific order, okay? The first is lead flow. Lead flow. How many leads do you have coming in a month? What's a lead? Could be a phone call, could be a message, could be a email from a form being filled out on your website, could be a walk-in if you have an office, it could be a referral, which would also be coming through the phone or a message. So any of those things are a lead, okay? A lead. What is a lead? It is interest, okay? It's interest. So lead flow is number 1. That's the very first thing that I'm looking at, number 1 indicator. Number 2 is estimate flow. What do you count as an estimate? An estimate is, because some estimates are a quick quote via the phone or via text, or it could be a full on-site estimate walkthrough that takes you an hour. An estimate that we're talking about is any time that you give a potential customer a price for a service. Okay, so estimate flow, that's number 2. Number 3 is job flow. How many jobs do you have happening per month? Okay, how many jobs do you have happening per month that you perform? Okay, not booked, because some will cancel. It's how many have you performed in the month? Okay, job flow. So number 4 is cash flow. Cash flow. Okay, how much money do you have coming through a month? And don't mix it up. Cash flow is equivalent to profit. And that's the number I want you to look at. I don't want you to look at revenue. Okay, you can look at revenue. I'm not saying don't ever look at that number, but revenue is deceiving. You could do $82,000 this month, but the real number that matters is what you keep. And the only way to really know profit is to know your expenses, because the equation is very simple. Revenue minus expenses equals profit. So revenue is a great thing to look at, but it is not what I am going to base all of my decisions on. I'm going to base my decisions on lead flow, estimate flow, job flow, and cash flow. Cash flow, think of that as your profit. Okay, and again, simple equation, but people mix it up because they're too worried about comparing yourself to someone else, especially if you're on any of these social channels. If you're connected with the moving industry as a whole, the environment, if you know other moving company owners, and anytime you see somebody posting how much revenue they did in the month, check yourself, because what will happen is you'll start comparing and you'll start thinking that that's the number that you need to be looking for, and it's not. It's a trap. It's a trap, and it'll get you stuck in a heartbeat. And don't do it. Promise, don't do it. So lead flow, estimate flow, job flow, and cash flow. Okay. And the reason that these are the pulses I believe that are the vitals to your company is because they're all things that are actionable. They're things that move the needle. Because the purpose of a business, the purpose is to create a profit. That's the purpose of a business. And the reason they're in that order is because what's going to happen first? Am I going to make money first, or am I going to have a job first? I'm going to have a job, and then the customer's going to pay me at the end of the job. Well, what's going to happen first? Am I going to have a job, or am I going to give that customer a quote? I'm going to give the customer a quote before I do the job for them. What's going to happen first? Am I going to get a lead first? Yes, because I can't do an estimate without a lead. I can't give someone an estimate that's not interested. And if you're doing that, stop. I don't know why you would ever do that. Don't do a moving quote with somebody that's not looking to move. Okay, so The reason they're in that order is because it is the chronological order. It makes sense, okay? This is not hard, all right? Lead flow. Your lead flow, we're in the month of November. So if you look at your lead flow, that will actually give you information for December. Because the lead flow right now are going to be jobs, and we're in the middle of November, are going to be jobs in December primarily. So if your lead flow is super good right now, you can expect to be coming up on a great December. If your lead flow is tanking, you should be expecting December to not be the best month of your year, okay? And the pulse, the reason you're checking that pulse, just like a doctor, the very first thing when you walk into a medical office, you walk in somewhere, they do a few things before. It doesn't matter where you go. They check your blood pressure. They check your heart rate. They check these vitals, because before anything happens, those are the vital signs of health. Same concept with your business. Okay. Lead flow is the very beginning. Now there's other factors to the health of your business, and I'm not going to cover those in this video. I want to keep this video short. Okay. But other factors, yes, there's your people. Okay. The retention on your employees or 1099 workers. So retention, that's a whole nother piece. And some other factors too. We'll do a video on expenses alone, because that's how you know cash flow. Just like a rental property and real estate. If you don't know all the true expenses, then you don't have a true cash flow number. You think that you're keeping something, but really you open up your bank account and you're like, not as much there as I thought, right? And so true numbers, the absolute numbers. In order to know cash flow, you have to know expenses. And the only way to know expenses is to be tracking them and have a system. Okay, so if you don't have a system and this is kind of the whole back end point of this video, if you don't have a system to keep track of all your expenses, to keep track of your lead flow, your estimates, your jobs, and how much money you're keeping, those are the systems I would develop in the very beginning. If I was helping somebody with a brand new company, I'd say, hey, let's figure out how we can track all these things, because they're some of the most important parts. You can track a bajillion things, but those are the things I would track. So those are the pulses. Keep it moving. Check the pulse. Lead flow, estimate flow, job flow, and cash flow. Hope that helps. I'll see you guys at the top. Go crush it.